Good. We're good to go. All right.
What happened to the monitor?
I turned it off.
Oh, because it was distracting.
Yeah.
I kind of like looking at it.
You did. You want it on? Like, I could turn it off.
Nah, it's cool. What? I was like, what was that?
That was a Adobe Audition.
Just for like audio stuff.
Yeah. It's part of the whole Adobe
Is it in the suite?
It's in the suite.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I should go look at it.
It's the AU.
What can you do with that?
Record audio.
And then?
Edit audio.
Like, how do you edit? Like, what do you do? Just change out, like, the trebles and the bass and the tones?
Yeah, you could do that.
Do you kind of do, like, can you do, like, auto-tune?
Yeah, you could do it auto-tune on there. Yeah. What, you want me to auto-tune your voice from this, or what?
No. I might just go home and make my own soundtrack.
What do you need a soundtrack for? What are you going to use a soundtrack for?
Nothing. Sometimes I just get bored, Like,
all right, so you carry it around on your phone, and then so every time you walk into the room, you're going to play it?
Oh, no, I should play it every time I walk into the office. Now they know I'm there. That would be the best.
That's your intro music.
Yeah, it would be. That would be really good. I should do that.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. See how that goes.
Dude, you're really making my mind think right now.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. All right.
Yeah.
So let's get into this.
All right.
This is the first podcast. Wait, the first episode? The first episode of my podcast. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. It's kind of crazy because I never intended to actually make a podcast. This wasn't what I wanted to do.
Okay.
But the idea formed, it started off as something else, and then it kind of evolved. And then I was like, all right, I actually never listened to podcasts before. Like, I wasn't into it. I knew what they were, like, all right, people talking.
Right.
It didn't actually click, like, I should use this as the medium for what I wanted to do until I saw one video on YouTube of this one podcast. And then I'm watching it, and then I was like, oh, so this is what podcast is. I was like, now this format I understand.
Yeah.
This I get. Like, just having people randomly talking, stuff like that, I didn't understand that. It didn't click. And I knew, like, before there was like some big podcast, like wasn't that like the crime one? That was supposed to be like really popular, like maybe like a year ago, something like that.
I'm not too sure. Like,
I think it's called Serial.
Might have heard of it. Like, the ones that I listen to are just of equipment, gear, teaching, instructing. That kind of that's the stuff I listen to. So, Serial was about what?
I think it's like crime, like murder, like some like trials, like law trials, something. Maybe some people got murdered. Okay. I don't know. That's what I kind of. I didn't even listen to it. Not even 1 second of it.
I got you.
But yeah, so
nice.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like I was laying in bed one day, and then I was like, you know what? I was like, this would be the form. This is what I should do instead. Because I wanted to create something that was more like, what I wanted to do was kind of serious. I was like, it was.
You said a series or serious?
No, serious.
Okay.
Like, if you like, my original idea, I guess I get into it right now. My original idea was to start like a mentorship program.
Okay.
Where I would like meet up with people like maybe like one day of the week, and then just kind of like if they have questions and stuff like that, anything going on, whether it's life related, whether it's work related, like I could sit down to them, like give them advice, talk to them like that, help them out whichever way I can. And then so that was the original idea, and then I was like, all right, and then so I had planned to like set it up where like basically just book appointments, like, all right,
okay.
This day, I'll maybe there's somebody that hits me up like, hey, can we meet up? And I was like, okay, let's set it down for this day. And then maybe set out like 3 hours of my day to kind of do this like mentorship thing.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't know. I mean, like meet up with somebody. I think it would be like a too formal of a setting.
Okay.
And then for me, I was like, I kind of want to have fun with it too.
Gotcha.
And then I kind of wanted to be able to maybe there's something we talk about like in this meeting that could help somebody else too. So if we have this meeting, I'm just kind of just reaching this one person.
Gotcha. Nope.
And then so I was like, okay, how can I turn this into a way where I can have somewhat like these meetings, have it in like a less serious setting.
Gotcha.
And then also be able to be able to help more people or reach more people, basically.
Social media is the way.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, I guess I was like, that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, I could record it. Could record it and then I could put it up like on YouTube or something. And then that's why I was like, well, then in that case, it wouldn't make sense for me to meet up the person somewhere and then just do it at that location, because then I would need equipment and stuff like that. I was trying to simplify it into a way where, it actually, started thinking about the logistics of it.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, I came up with like this kind of format for right now.
Less formal, less
formal. Yeah. More.
But we got the mics.
Yeah, we got the mics.
The big light.
We're recording. We got light. We got a temporary like setup right now.
Yeah.
This is just something like I threw together. Actually, like I already had the desk.
Yeah.
I had the desk. I had all this other stuff.
Speaking of this desk, this is really nice, by the way. You made this?
I made this.
How long did it take to make this? How did you come up with this idea, and how the hell did you have all this?
Everything. The wires all underneath. I got wires underneath.
Did you sand this down or what?
I sanded it down a little bit, but I didn't sand it down.
Did you finish it, or what is this?
It has Danish oil on top of it,
okay.
So it is like a waterproof or whatever, but it's still you just feel the wood, and you can feel the grain on there and stuff like that. Yeah. I didn't want to get like too sand. I didn't want to make it like I sanded too much. I wanted something just quick. Really, it was just more for functionality.
You got all these tools here, or what? Like what kind of sander you use?
Yeah. All right, might as well get into it now. All right, so I haven't even said my name or introduced us or anything.
Say anything about who we are.
Yeah, my name is Michael Macedo. Let's see. How do I introduce myself?
What's the company?
What title do I give myself? Man, I don't even say like. I do so many things. I'm not trying to sound like pretentious or anything. Like I forget like. I consider myself like multifaceted in a way where I could do a whole bunch of things. And then so it's kind of hard when people ask me like, all right, well, what's your job? What do you do? I was like, well, it kind of depends, because I could be doing like photography.
Right.
But then I was like, I could be doing video. I could be doing audio work. I could be doing other stuff like web design.
Exactly.
All kinds of like
logo design.
Yeah. All kinds of like different like creative things. Basically, honestly, if you really consider it, I'll consider myself more of a prostitute.
A prostitute?
Yes.
Okay.
Basically, I just whore myself out for money.
Yeah.
That's really what I do.
Wherever the money is, that's what
yeah. If someone's willing to pay me to do something, then if the price is right, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I would do it if the price is right. So it just kind of depends. So in general, that's why I consider myself a prostitute. I just whore myself out. Yeah. But if you want to get into it, what I can really like deep down, what everything boils down to, I think I consider myself just more of a problem solver.
Yeah.
More than anything, I just figure out ways to get stuff done with the certain resources I have, and that's what it comes down to. Other than that, I mean, I guess it would be like creative / entrepreneur. I did do automotive collision repair for 14 years until I retired from that. So that was something. But yeah, my name is Michael Macedo. I'm going to just say the name of the podcast. The podcast is named the Defynest Podcast. And that's one word. So it's DEFYNEST. Nest. That's the name, Defynest.
Okay.
So it kind of sounds like the and then finest,
right?
but it's kind of together.
How'd you come up with this?
Okay. You used to watch How I Met Your Mother, right?
Oh yeah, all day.
Okay.
I watched every single episode.
Yeah. So you remember the episode where Robin was gonna get kicked out because of her visa expiring, because she didn't have a job or something like that. She needed a job where her work visa was expiring, so she needed to get a job. And then so Barney came up with the idea of telling her to do like a video resume.
Okay.
You remember the video resume?
I cannot remember. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it now on Netflix.
So
or something.
In the video resume, he kind of like chops up together and like it's like over the top, and then so. But in the resume, in the video resume, he's like introducing himself, and he's kind of trying to he's interviewing himself basically, and then so the guy off camera asks him a question, and then so he answers it like he creates a word. He basically the word he made up was impossible.
Impossible. This
so
sounds
basically
very, very familiar.
Yeah, so basically he took impossible and combined it with possible, and his reasoning was something like he wants to he's going to a place that's beyond the impossible. It's where the impossible and the possible meet, or somewhere like that. And that's why he came up with the word impossible. I think that's the word. Impossible was the word. So basically, that's what the finest is. It's basically a made up word.
Right.
I made it up, and it's a combination of words. So it's a combination of defy, DEFY,
right?
Define, DEFINE, and then I took the suffix EST. So basically combined that together, and that's how I got the finest. So in a sense, defy, like trying to explain what the finest is and like what it means. Defy, the defy part in a sense to like and to kind of like challenge and overcome, that kind of sense. Define, DEIFINE, in a sense of like to like label or like a definition, something like that. And the EST, just the suffix meaning like the highest form, like the best or whatever. And so explaining it is kind of like in the sense of like it means like a person or someone who like wants to like let's see how I'm gonna word this best. Oh, let me just, I have like this little tagline already that I came up with.
All right. This is the first episode. We gotta get it out there.
The meaning, I guess,
it's episode, right?
Yeah, episode 1. All right. So I guess the meaning of it's in a sense like the summary. I'll explain it further, but the tagline is defy the definition of who we are in order to become our best self. All right. I guess that's the meaning, but I'll explain it. All right.
Pretty long.
And it sounds serious, but it's not that serious.
I thought we were having fun with it.
Yeah, it's not that serious, okay? It's not that serious. That's the sub tagline. It's not that serious. All right. Defy the definition of who we are. So basically that's talking about, as people and as a society in general, the world is always trying to label you in a certain way. They want to like categorize you. They want to say you're just one thing. Like in the way that I was having trouble describing myself, like what do I do? That sense, like they just want to label you a photographer. They just want to label you a videographer. They just want to label you an artist, or they just want to label you a police officer. They just want to label you that. I think, there's that shouldn't exist. I was like, you can be more than one thing. All right. And then so that's kind of like defy the definition of who we are. So not trying to let, like the world, the society, external forces kind of tell you who you are and who you can be. So basically it's just saying you could be whatever, whoever, or you could be whoever you want to be.
Right.
All right. And then when you get into that realization is when you can, become your best self, knowing that. I mean, so you realize you can be more than just one thing. So it's kind of like talking about becoming your best self is just talk about growing and learning. And so it's just about growing, learning, and then basically just not letting the world kind of tell you what you should do or kind of control you and then tell you like what you should and shouldn't do. Yeah. All right. So it's basically just that, and then it sounds way more serious than it is, but it's not that serious. All right.
It's not. Serious.
And this is not going to be like a super deep podcast or anything like that. I mean,
I didn't sign up for this. Yeah. I don't even know what I signed up for.
Yeah, we're really just going to talk, tell stories.
Tell stories about life.
Yeah, about life, and then that's about it.
What's going on right
now? So it's I feel like people can learn from any person in any situation, and just by just by conversating or just by you could learn from somebody, and it's kind of weird because you don't learn, if someone tells you to do something, just say especially like growing up, say if your mom tells you to do something or whatever,
you defy it right away.
You kind of like you don't want to do it and stuff like that, or you say no, or you just do it but you don't think about it. So some of the things like I've picked up or have been like in like they could be or in a conversation where we could be talking about something completely different, and then it just clicks in my mind about something else because of something they brought up. So I'm getting way too deep. It's just like, we're having a conversation, but people can learn and pick up stuff from what we're saying, how we're interacting and stuff like that, our stories that we share.
Yeah. So that's Michael Macedo.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah. So
that's his logo.
That was a huge explanation of what this podcast is, and just because of this logo, and that's
how the conversation started.
Yeah, this is how it all started. Well, this cup, actually, Billy gave it to me. Oh, I forgot to introduce you.
Yeah.
My guest today is Billy Chantavasuk. I said it right?
Yeah.
It's all right. Chantavasuk Jun.
I say Chantavasuk, but it's all the same.
Yeah. Okay.
It's gonna sound the same.
Yeah. And then so who he is how you want me to describe you, Bill? You could give yourself a description.
I would say don't give the name of the agency I work for.
Okay.
But you could go into the past with the other. You can say I was in the Army. That's fine.
Okay, we go. Yeah. He's in the Army.
I was. Right. Yeah.
All right. Was in the Army.
Yeah.
You served your time. You did your time.
Yeah, I did. I served some time in the Army from 2006 to about 2013, I believe. And I was on the reserve side, spent a year in Iraq, and then another mission over in Haiti doing, I don't know if it was a humanitarian or kind of a peace mission. I don't know what it was. But anyways, we were there. And so
I didn't know about the Haiti.
Yeah, I was in Haiti after the hurricane.
What hurricane? Which one? Which one? We've had so many.
The hurricane that hit Haiti that kind of wiped it out.
Oh,
flooded the airports and the town or the island and all that stuff. So it was kind of interesting. Like we went over there, and the U.S. Army was there to help rebuild the island, I guess. So they were there to put some schools and whatever else, and I forget. But and some roads. We got there, and we were security for the engineers. So the engineers were there to basically do what engineers do, build shit. You know? Wait, am I allowed to say that? Are we cussing on?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
So they're there to build stuff, and we're there to provide security. Mind you, that the Army gave me like 9 bullets to protect myself and protect the property with, and I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to do anything with 9 freaking rounds? You know, and these are like some target practice ammo rounds. So I'm like, this isn't gonna kill anybody, but okay, whatever. You know, I guess the threat really isn't here for this, so why are we even here? But you know, I guess sometimes the government has whatever they got to do, or they have their views of how things should run. So, anyways, so yeah, I was in Haiti, probably there for like a month or two. I forget how long it was, and yeah, they built schools, they built roads, and we provided security for the base that we were on. So the engineers built the base up while we were there, and it was nice. The first half of my tour or whatever, I was they put us in a resort, like seriously, a nice resort. Like if you looked at some of the pictures I took, it looked like a Corona beach commercial. You know, like actually like a Corona beer commercial. I'm sorry, and I was like, oh man, this is pretty awesome. And then after about 2-3 weeks, they moved us into onto base because the engineers got there and they started building us our tents and our little rooms to live in. Then they moved me to night shift, so I provided security at night, and I was all fine and dandy until it's time for me to go sleep during the day. And guess what happens during the day? Engineers start building shit. And what do engineers start building shit with? Fucking hammers. Yeah. And so while I'm trying to sleep, you hear fucking knocking, dudes banging in nails and screwing stuff in, and yeah, bulldozing shit, and yeah, it was nice. I probably say I got about like 2 hours of sleep every day, just because I couldn't sleep because of all the noise, and then we didn't have AC because we're in tents.
2 months.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Oh yeah, so. And that's sleep on 2 hours it's 2 hours a day is like horrible. I know that sleep. Yeah, for that long too. I probably did longer than that. Yeah, but it's not fun at all. But so yeah, we're gonna just say Army.
Yeah. So now I was in the Army, and then now I'm in law enforcement, and I do some stuff there. Yeah. But I'd rather not name who I work for.
Yeah, so, that's fine. He's in law enforcement, guys. He's in law enforcement. He served in the Army. Bam. Yeah. All right. I guess I'm gonna get into not really how we first met, but how I knew you existed. Just a little backstory of how I first knew Billy existed ever. All right. This goes back to 11th grade. This is 11th grade in high school.
Good times.
I remember I was in physics class. I was in physics
Miss
class. Yeah, Miss Guerra. I'm surprised you remember her name.
Oh no, I remember.
I wouldn't have remembered her name. It would have took me a while. I was like, you said it pretty quick.
I don't know. Some stuff just comes back to me.
Yeah. So I was in physics class. Billy, at the time, that period, you were a student aide.
Was I?
Yeah, you were a student aide, and I was pretty sure you were working like in the attendance office.
Could be. Yeah. I was wherever.
So yeah, we're in physics class, and then so one day, Billy just walks into the classroom. I guess you were delivering. You knocked. You're probably picking up somebody or something like that. Or
so I did. I delivered random stuff at times just because I had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Or drive around in golf carts.
And then I remember I was like, you came in, and then like everybody else in the class knew you.
Really?
And at that time, I didn't know who you were. And I remember like all my friends were like going up to you and telling you what's up and all this other stuff. And I was like, I don't know this guy. And I was like, everybody else knew you. And then I was like, oh man, I don't know him. And then so like after you left, and then my friends came back, I was like, I remember it was Luis Gonzalez.
Yeah.
And George
Alberto.
Yeah. Them. I was like, hey man, who is that? I asked him. I was like, who is that? And he's like, oh, that's Billy. I was like, yeah, I don't know that guy or whatever. Yeah. So that's the first time I knew you existed. And then I say like senior year, 12th grade. I think that's when we really became friends.
Yeah, we had a couple classes together, no?
Yeah. We had
obviously another physics. Was it physics or chemistry? Were in calculus together? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think. Well, calculus was weird because I would bounce in between classes because well, I would go multiple periods. Yeah. But yeah, we had classes in senior year and stuff like that. So I've known Bill some years now. I can't do the math.
14, 15 years.
Something like that.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah. So
it's been that long since we went to school.
Yeah. And I would consider him one of my best friends.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. So yeah, and then
you're always there when I need you. Say, hey, Mikey, I need a problem solved.
Then I take care of it. Hey,
exactly.
That's how it is. But you're also one of the people like I most respect.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'll let me invite him to the podcast. We could talk about some stuff, and then so of course I was gonna start this. You were gonna be one of the first people I reached out to.
Nice.
Yeah. So
who's number 2? Just so I could poke at him.
Actually, the first person who was supposed to be number 1 was supposed to be Giddy.
Oh, that guy! Why didn't he do it?
Yeah, because he's a flake, and he likes to sell me out, and because I
think that would have been a great first one.
Yeah.
He would have been awesome.
Yeah, he was supposed to be the first one, and then so we had to set it up. He canceled on me. He did reach out like later to try to set up like another another recording session, but he like hit me up with like 15 minutes in advance, and he was like, yeah, he was like, I think he was like, hey, can you shoot between like 12 and 1? And this was, I think it was like 11:45. Right. And it just happened to be one of those days, like one of my bad days where I'm like, I was just literally just waking up. I was still all groggy, confused. And like, I see the text. I'm like, oh man, I was like, there's no way I could talk on a podcast and make sense like right now. So I was like, nah, I can't do it. Yeah. So I told him, so the time he did reach out to me, back to me, I was like, I wasn't able to do it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so he's a loser. He's a flake. He sucks at life.
He's a great guy.
I really want him to be a guest on the podcast. so
you can't release this one until he actually do yours.
Yeah.
Do his.
Yeah. So he's gonna be on, and then so we're gonna have fun with that. But yeah, so it's crazy.
Darn, but I wasn't first choice.
You were.
I'm kind of hurt.
Look. He was only first choice because he wanted, or he was like the first person, like, well, we got a group text together. Yeah. He was the one that says he kind of invited himself onto the podcast.
I got you.
Yeah, he's like, oh, can I be a guest? And then so I was like, all right, you'll be the first guest then.
Right.
Because he invited himself. He's like, he wanted to be a guest. So that's why I had him pinned in, scheduled as the first guest. Yeah, so
been a good first choice.
Yeah, you're a great second choice. I was like, you have some stories, Bill. I'm sure you have some stories.
I always got stories, but can I share them all? That's the difference.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of where it's at.
Yeah, exactly. But we could just talk in generics, in general terms. Well, there was just like this little incident that you were at not too long ago. Right. What is it? A couple of weeks now? It probably was a couple of weeks ago. You were like not too far from here. Yeah. Just give some context. We're in Houston, Texas. Just for people, people out there in the
the million viewers we're about to get. We're gonna get a bunch.
Let me guess. We're gonna get like, I think a solid 32 views.
32. I was kind of thinking like. It was weird. I was thinking 417.
417, you're crazy. Nah. Like first day, I don't know.
I get like that on my Instagram videos.
I'd be happy. Well, this is gonna be posted on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Back in the day, I could drop a video.
Yeah.
And get like 100 views, easy.
Yeah.
But I doubt I could do that now. I guess we could talk about that too. I don't know if you noticed, but I haven't been on social media.
Yeah, no, I noticed you were not on there.
I haven't been.
Can't tag you in anything. Can't do anything like that.
Well, you can tag me. I just won't see it. I just won't see it. Yeah. I haven't been on social media in going on 2 years.
So this is kind of your gateway back into it a little bit?
This is going to be my gateway. This is going to force me to get back on social media.
Right.
Yeah.
So what was the big question?
Well, this,
Like,
or why did I stop, or why am I going to get back
Why
on?
you
The
getting
reason
back
I'm
into
getting back on is this, to
Like,
share this, to
I
let
got
this
you.
know that this is out there. And this is going to be a thing. And
Uh-huh.
there's going to be more episodes, no
got
matter
you.
what. And it's going to get better than this.
Yeah,
I mean, because I've done like absolutely no prep for this, no planning. So we're all just winging this. So,
where's the video here?
how
far? How high?
it gets to about like right to our knees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Why?
So you can see my hands.
Yeah, you can see our hands. You can see our hands. You
Like
can
when
see
I don't
that
know what I
talking.
want to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Where's your hand signals,
Yeah,
gestures, all that.
gotcha.
Yeah. That shows up.
So they'll see all my nervous ticks.
Yeah. Surprising.
You should have told me this before.
I
really
thought you
should've
knew
told
it was
me.
gonna be a
I
video.
didn't know like this
I
is like
thought,
or how big the camera view or angle was.
I thought you knew it was gonna be video.
No, I walked into this place. I was like, "There's a camera." Or a light box.
I thought you
audio.
knew. I thought I said it.
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, there's video.
I mean, I always thought podcast was just audio stuff. So
I actually prefer. I prefer seeing, as long as I'm a visual person, so I prefer seeing like the people talking as well as like listening to them.
I got you.
Yeah. To me, you just connect better.
Yeah.
I was like, this way you actually can see. You could put a face to my voice. You could put a face to your voice.
Yeah.
If you're like listening to a podcast, like just the audio, and you don't really know who's talking. I was like, well, you don't know who looks like, unless you already know the people. Yeah. Unless like they're celebrities or like actors, comedians, stuff like that. So where you already recognize their face, already recognize their voice.
Yeah.
So people aren't going to recognize my face, aren't going to recognize my voice, and they're not going to know. So that, and I think the video helps out with that. I was like, oh, they could put a face to my voice and then see. I also feel like if you see somebody talking, you could tell like if they're bullshitting or not.
Yeah, by their facial expressions.
Yeah, you could tell if they're lying, or you could like, oh man, this guy really seems authentic. And so I'm pretty sure, I'm not lying. I'm not making up anything for this podcast.
Right.
So everything that you're gonna hear on this podcast is gonna be like actual truth from me. So, I mean, I think the video would help convey that this is actually real, and so I think I think it helps out.
Yeah,
and I think it also makes people, like, if people watch it, they kind of feel like, oh, they're in the room with us too. They're just kind of like listening in our conversation.
So, thinking about like whenever you introduce yourself with your audio or your photography, videography, filmography, whatever, and then we talked about your what's it called, the cup there, your logo.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do like overlays, like, hey, follow this link, and this is some of my work?
You know what?
Some of your work.
I'm not gonna even push.
You're not even gonna plug yourself.
I'm not even gonna push my work.
You gotta plug yourself. You gotta throw yourself a plug every now and then. Like, like a flying picture right now of like the UH Stadium. Was it TDECU Stadium?
Yeah.
Just like
that
going
one right
across.
There?
Yeah, that one right there.
Yeah.
Or like a panning cross shot of it.
Oh, well, for the audience, the 13 viewers that we're gonna get from this,
might sell some of this.
I have canvas prints, various canvas prints hanging up on the walls, and then so one of them is of a drone shot of the U of H Stadium, University of Houston Stadium.
Very great shot with downtown Houston in the background.
Yeah, with downtown Houston in the background and stuff like that. So that's one of the photography work that I did, and it's hanging up on the wall. But so for people who don't know, I'm a U of H alumni. Billy was a U of H
dropout.
Don't
even lie. I walk up to the door and be like, I'm late by 5 minutes.
I know, like
sending a text message. Hey, who wants to go eat?
We had a class together, Bill. We had
was it chemistry or political science?
It was chemistry. It was chemistry for engineers.
Yeah, that class sucked.
We had that freshman year. We had that together. I saw Billy probably maybe 2-3 times during that whole semester.
I was mad at myself for that. That whole year I screwed up. Like I really should have like focused a little bit more. No, and I wouldn't be where I am now.
Oh man, I screwed up too.
Yeah.
Oh man, I screwed up that. You know what? I was like kind of so out of my realm that freshman year.
Yeah.
That first year of college, I had like, there's stuff like I had no clue what was going on,
Right.
how this worked, or any.
didn't
I was
know.
so unprepared.
Yeah, I didn't know that you could drop classes and still
Oh.
be okay or pass and stuff. I thought like, oh crap, I'm gonna fail this class. I guess I'll just suck it up as a failure. I didn't know that. I could drop this class.
Yeah.
I didn't know how college worked, and then having that like basically a full ride, like my grant paid for everything.
What?
Yeah, I screwed that up.
Really?
Yeah, so that's the thing that really got me. Now that I think back on my years of life, and then screwing up that college, that first year especially, it was like everything was paid for. I had everything paid for, and I screwed it up to the point that I don't have to pay anything back, but I did screw it up. So I guess that would be my teaching point or lesson to anybody who's watching this. If you're a freshman in college and you got a full ride, don't fuck it up.
I didn't have a full ride, but I did have a scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
I did get a scholarship. It didn't pay everything. I still had to come out of pocket, but I messed that one up too.
Yeah.
And that was because freshman year, the second semester was like, I just stopped going to class and completely just stopped going to class. And this was around the time, and I can tell you why I stopped going to class is well, first I hated the classes. The classes I was taking was boring. When I first started at U of H, I was a mechanical engineering major.
Yeah, same here.
So were you. Yeah. And then so like the first semester I took like Cal 3.
I took Cal 2. Yeah.
I did Cal 3, like chemistry for engineers, some other stuff.
Did you do the English for engineers class?
I didn't know there was an English for engineers.
That was so easy.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do poetry. It was awesome. That was one of the classes I actually enjoyed. I did English for engineers 1 and 2, and so I got my English out of the way like within that first year. And you didn't have to do. It was like proposals on how to make sales and things. And I think that helped me. I still remember some of it. So.
I didn't know there was an English for engineers.
It was a startup for that year where they kind of selected some dudes or some students and put them in it. So.
That's probably why I didn't get in. Like I was just taking like a regular English class. Yeah, but that second semester, to get on point, or if you haven't noticed, I guess I'll just get it out the way. I have ADD, so I'm diagnosed.
Yeah.
I'm diagnosed with ADD. All right. I don't know about you. I'm actually diagnosed with ADD, and I found that out like way later in life. But I kind of always knew. But so the point with that is I'm gonna be jumping around all over topics, and so get used to that. I'm gonna try to get better. All right, this is an exercise for me too.
Yeah.
So every podcast is gonna get a little better, and and then for the most part, I get into this too. Like I spend most of my days by myself. Like I really don't talk. Like this is the most talking I've done in a day in like forever.
Really?
Yes.
Nice.
So if you hear my like voice crackling, and if you hear my voice changing, that's because like I don't speak. Like the vocal cords, they're a muscle, right? So you gotta actually use them.
Right.
So right now I was like, this is the most I've talked in a while. So with the voice, ADD. All right, let's get back on topic to what we're talking about.
What were we talking about? College.
Yeah, college. Second semester.
Yeah.
I stopped going to class because I hated it, and because I started to get more serious about the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was getting more into like collision repair, fixing cars, painting cars, doing body work. Yeah. So I started getting more serious about that. So I was like, I'm taking classes I don't even like. I was like, man, screw this. I stopped going to class. And this goes back to your point. Like, I didn't know what a drop was. I didn't know that you could drop classes. So I just stopped going to class. At the end, because of that, like at that semester, I ended up failing all my classes. I was taking 5 classes. I failed 4. I think one professor gave me like a D. He passed me.
Really?
Yeah, one professor passed me. Well, D, I think he's passing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think D
I
in
think it's
college, D's a
I can't
passing.
remember.
I think. Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, so I got F's in all my class and a D, and I remember my GPA for that semester was a point two something.
Really?
Yeah, it was a point two something. My
I can't remember what the
overall,
hell mine was.
yeah, and then so my overall. Oh, and I think because of my scholarship, I was already they had put me on like
Academic probation.
yeah, not really academic.
Okay.
It wasn't. I didn't get academic probation until after my second semester.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they were put me in a warning that I had to be above a 3.0 GPA, or else like I'll lose my scholarship.
Yeah.
And then so I don't think I hit that like the first semester. I think I was like at 2.7, something like that. And then second semester I got the 0.26 or whatever. No, I think it was 0.2 something. It's or 0.1 something. And then yeah, because I didn't drop any of my classes. But also at that point I wasn't thinking I would ever go back to college.
Really?
Yeah, I think at that point I thought I was done. I was like, nah, I'm never gonna come back. So I just didn't care at all. And then so once that happened, I lost my scholarship. I messed up my GPA.
Yep.
Overall, it dropped afterwards with that semester. It dropped to like a 1.26. I think that's the six, 1.26. So after that is when I got placed on the academic probation. But at that point, like I was like, I didn't care. I was like, I'm never coming back. And then 2 years later, I went back to college.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you graduated?
I actually graduated. Yeah.
Right.
I went back to college for a business degree. So I ended up majoring in. I have to look up into my diploma.
Business administration.
I got a bachelor's in business administration, majored in marketing, minored in management. And I also got the certificate of corporate entrepreneurship too. So for people who are watching this, I'm actually looking to the degrees I have like on my wall. Okay, so that's why I'm looking. Nah, screw that. You're making it too difficult, Bill. I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible. I'm just doing one stationary camera.
Right.
I want to be fast edit, just fast turn around, not take a whole bunch of time doing cuts and editing and making it all sound great. So if we mess up, I'm gonna keep the mess ups in there. It's just part of it. It's more real. It's more authentic. I want people to feel like they're in on the conversation. I don't want this to be all super polished.
Right.
Make this sound like it's like two robots talking to each other.
I don't think we sound robotic at all.
Yeah.
However, I do, appreciate the your skill and ability in Photoshop, in Adobe Premiere, Photoshop. Everything else, because you've taught me a little bit of stuff on there.
I taught you a little bit of something. Bill, if you ever have any questions, you can come.
Right.
And ask me anything. I'll help. I'm more than glad to help you out.
Yeah,
with some stuff.
Nah, but back on that school side, man, I really didn't understand. Like, if I knew what I knew now about college, and it kind of goes the same way with the Army.
Yeah,
it's like if I knew what I knew now about all that stuff, I'd redo it and I'd do it a whole different way.
Yeah, me too.
I probably would have focused on school a little bit more.
Yeah,
like actually try a little bit harder. Like my first year, I had a horrible GPA. I don't know what the hell it was like, but my second year, I was like a 3 something. Whenever I went to community college, so I don't know. I think the focus was a little bit different whenever I had to pay for it myself the second year.
Yeah,
and so that's kind of what happened. If I had to do it all over again, I'd say for all those youngsters doing it, definitely pay attention and definitely take advantage of that free money that's out there, because it's like you don't get free money all the time. So having free money is a great thing, especially right now.
Yeah, and then so back to that, like I think I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared at all for college. It was like a whole different experience for me.
Yeah,
and I think a little of that is at fault. I think, man, high schools should be teaching students like at least preparing them a little way for college. I feel like I was completely unprepared for college.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I took like some. Is it AP classes and then what's it, dual credit classes?
Yeah.
Or we went to Lone Star it was Lone Star at the time or North Harris, whichever one it was. The community college.
It was North
at
Harris.
the time.
Now it's Lone Star.
Yeah. So we took some college courses in high school, but I don't think you got like the full experience of it, or I just didn't pay attention. I mean, it could be totally my fault, or I just didn't pay attention to it. So
I think, a little of that has to do with like being kids and then just messing around, just trying to screw off and then just not actually do work.
Because not everybody was like us. So.
Nah, we were weirdos.
Yeah, I wouldn't say all that. I think we're a little sheltered. My parents sheltered me a lot. So.
Yeah. Well, I know I'm a weirdo. I know I'm weird. I know I'm different.
There's no weirdos. Everybody's normal. Everybody's unique.
Everybody's unique. I don't consider weirdo a bad word or whatever. Yeah. So I feel we were completely unprepared, but getting onto that, kids, pay attention, you're gonna have to learn on the fly, especially with our school systems, like the high school, the system's not preparing you, but you'll get that. Yeah, but all right, on to college, skip that, all that. We're gonna have horrible transitions in between topics on there. I could just tell you that from the beginning. So
I mean, we flowed into it pretty good for like the last 30 minutes or so.
Yeah,
I mean, everything just transitioned and continued to go into one topic to the next. I mean, you go ahead and try to guide me into the next one. I'll see what happens.
I mean,
so
I always wanted to know the transition from how you entered the Army, or what made you think about signing up.
So that one was interesting. It really just happened to like within a couple hours.
Really?
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
That's how you made the decision.
That's how it happened.
The decision came in a couple hours.
It really did.
All right.
So there I was, right, doing the college thing. I was interning at a pharmacy at the time.
I remember that.
And I was like, this job sucks. This job really, really sucks. It was a pharmacy technician stuff. So counting pills and bottles and, doing scripts. No offense to the people that are actually doing that. It's just like, I was really bored.
Yeah, I can see it.
Like I would come in, I would clean the pill machines, sort out the pill bottles and line them all up because, I was a little OCD about like pill bottles that weren't on the edge of the shelf and in line and equally spaced and, whatever else. So I'm like, what the hell? And then like, why would you open this pill bottle when the other pill bottle is already open? And then now we don't know which one has less in it. And now I can't mix the pill bottles. And it's just like, oh, you asshole. Like, from the other shifts that were there. And anyways, yeah, so I'm doing this monotonous task. And I'm just like, all right, there's got to be something different to this. There's got to be something. I mean, like the money, the money opportunity there is great. You're going to make a decent amount. But I need a challenge. I need something instead of coming in every day. I could do this like drunk. I could do this hungover. I could do this like, no, this is not where I wanted to be. I wanted a little bit of challenge. And so I would see cops coming through every now and then. And so I'm like, hey man, what do y'all do? How do y'all do this? And I talked to them a little bit and they're like, oh yeah, we're always on the road. We're doing this. We see something different every day. And here I am seeing the same pills every day, seeing pretty much the same clients coming through, getting the same pills filled every month. Like, this is kind of boring,
Yeah. So you could have been my pharmacist though, Bill.
Man,
I would see you more than I see like my actual friends, Bill, if you were my pharmacist. I guess we could explain this. I got shot up today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Had a doctor's appointment.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah. Yeah, they took some blood. That's normal. And that happens. That's normal for me.
Yeah, right. Take some blood. Replace it with alcohol. I'm just kidding.
I don't drink.
I know you don't.
Bill, I don't drink. I'm. What was it? No, I'm sober.
You've been sober for how long? Then?
I'm sober. I lost count. Probably like 7 years now.
I thought it was longer. He surprisingly, Mike used to be my bartender.
I used to be back
I
in the
used to
day.
make all my drinks for me.
Man, back in the day, we could tell you some stories about that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, no, we're not getting into those activities.
we can say that for a different episode, Bill.
Yes, exactly.
And the next time we could tell those
Next
stories.
time when Billy's back, we're gonna talk about
Yes.
the activities that
the
we
drunk
have.
stories.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
But
so
anyway, so back to college, or not college, but back to me wanting to join the army.
yeah,
So talking to the cop, whatever, and then I said, let me find this job. Let me figure out what they're doing. So while I'm still in college, I decided to sign up for my law enforcement gig, and got into that, going through the whole recruiting process, going through the whole background check. They send you downtown to the recruiting office, and while you're there, you're getting you're doing your background investigation. So they're checking you. You're doing polygraphs, whatever.
mm-hmm.
And
Did you pass?
Huh?
You passed?
Oh, obviously.
Yeah.
And so,
I actually think it's not that hard. I think I could trick one. I think I could trick a polygraph. Just saying. I think I could trick a polygraph test.
I'm not getting into my polygraph results.
But, we don't need to talk about it. I'm just saying, I think I could trick one.
I'd like to see it happen.
Yeah.
I know somebody.
I
know no, anyway. So while I'm there, and this army recruiter is there getting a background check on somebody else. So obviously, I guess they could go in there, request a criminal history warrant or check on somebody, and make sure that you pass all the standards to join the military. So he sees me sitting there, and he comes up to me and starts asking me questions, and asks me what my goals are, what I intend on doing. I'm like, oh, this, and this. And he just, what's it called, being a snake? Just trying to steal me away from law enforcement side.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, sure, this is what I want to do. He's like, well, we got the reserve program. You could do both, and I'll help you get into this, because at the time I was like, oh, I want to go federal. I want to do the FBI thing. Totally lied to me. It doesn't help you at all. Just
really?
Yeah, no.
Oh,
I don't think it does.
He got you.
He got me good. So he got me into. I was like, oh, really? I could do this. I wanted to do the local law enforcement thing for a little bit, and then go into the federal side and kind of get into that. And a little bit of what led me into the army was also, I don't know, just watching a bunch of movies.
Yeah.
Like Black Hawk Down was one of them. So that kind of got me into it. Anyways, so that recruiter sold me on the army. I got over there. I go do the exam, do the tryouts, do the run, the push-ups, whatever they requested me to do, and then they're like, hey, yeah, you're go take this test, which is they call it ASVAB. It's like your, I don't know what's the word for it, your competence test. And
is this like multiple choice?
Oh yeah, totally multiple choice. And it's when I think back about it, it's kind of like an 8th grade level test,
really?
Maybe somewhere around there. Maybe a little higher. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. So they're like, yeah, you scored pretty much high enough to do whatever job you want. It's like, well, I was already looking into law enforcement side. I was like, yeah, I got cops in the army. Like, yeah, we got military police. Oh, I want to do that. Yeah. So let's do that, because I figured, doing both of them simultaneously would help me move into that federal side, or that's what one would hope. Nah,
it doesn't.
Not really. There's different parameters. Each, like the feds really require a law, like a degree.
Yeah.
So obviously I should have stayed in school if that's what I wanted. But yeah, so I did all that, and that's kind of how I joined the army and went where I went. So thinking back about now, that's 2 lessons you've gotten from me, right? Knowing what I know now about college, I would have did something totally different. Knowing what I know now about the military, I would have did something totally different. Not saying that I wouldn't have joined the military altogether. I probably would have chosen a different path in the military other than the military police side. Because, the whole special operations side, I know a couple guys that have gone through it. I'm not saying that I'm like well versed in what they did or know exactly everything they did, but it always intrigued me, like what they do. Yeah. So like that mysterious side of them. Oh man, that's pretty damn cool. So I probably would have taken a path in that direction a little bit more. Okay.
Do you think that would have helped any? Like other, I mean, because you're thinking about like doing the
federal
police,
side?
the police or going federal.
Yes.
It would have.
Yeah, because I've known some guys that have done that and gone that direction,
Oh,
and so that would have helped. But the path I chose,
with the military police.
that ain't help shit. I mean, it might, but I'm not. It's not the big help that I want. So
Okay, I got you. And then so you go, you do the army.
Yep.
All right. You go. I mean, your intent was to go into law enforcement.
Yeah.
So the army, you did the army. That kind of didn't actually end up helping much.
Well, yeah. Well, it helped in the fact that it got me physically and mentally prepared for local law enforcement.
Okay. Yeah.
In physicality and mentality.
Okay.
So that's where that was dealing with the physical side of things, like whatever.
Yeah.
There's only so much that could happen to me, and then doing the mental side of it is like you learn to block things, or not even block things, suppress. I wouldn't call it. Yeah, block, suppress. I don't know. These are all probably words that doctors don't want to hear.
Yeah.
But, especially psychiatrists.
Yeah.
But you know, it kind of it toughens you to a point. It's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because joining the army is something I would never do. I would never go into the army.
So the military has a lot of job opportunities. You could be a computer guy. You could do programming. You could do just sit behind a desk and look at screens all day if you wanted to. You could be a photographer, a filmographer. You can be a doctor. You could be a nurse. There's jobs. It's the Army's job. You shouldn't think of it as strictly a gun-toting, fighting person. You can be in the military, any branch of the military, and have just what you would think would be a regular job out here. It really is, Helen.
That's crazy. I know I couldn't do anything computer science wise though, because I'd become Edward Snowden. Guarantee you, I would become Edward Snowden. Yeah, I was like, if I know too much stuff, I was like, really, this is happening? Oh my god, no way.
Well, so the thing is, I think, well, they might compartmentalize things, but I've only been like a very minuscule small part of the military, so
yeah.
There's definitely bigger things, and the higher you get in rank, the more you know. So, whatever.
That's great. Yeah. I'm interested about like the mental aspect that they teach you to block things. Oh, well,
I wouldn't say block. It's not. It's just you learn on your own. I wouldn't say.
Yeah, I would say like, I would like to learn just like any aspect, because I don't know how to disconnect in a sense where I can't like turn off, in a sense that for me, like I always feel like, well, this is part of the ADD. I know this, but I always feel like I have to work. Or I always feel like I'm working. I never really feel like I'm always driven to do something. Like I was always like, I gotta do something. But I feel like I don't know how to relax. I feel like no clue how to relax.
Well, so one of the things that I guess if you're in the army or military, and I see this a lot on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and a bunch of the memes that pop up, is like, you kind of have this sick sense of humor.
Really?
And it's really, I guess, what gets you to block the stuff or like make fun or lighten the mood whenever you're having a tough time, or whenever there's I don't know, there's trouble. Not really trouble, but it's you notice certain jokes that you would laugh at that other people see or read, and they're like, I don't get it.
Yeah. Oh, that happens to me all the time. I was like, I see people sharing stuff, and I'm like, I don't think that's funny. I was like, well, what's funny about that? I was like, oh, that's not funny.
Yeah. You just gotta. It's one of those things that are just related to the military. They have their own culture, and that's kind of what it is. So, it's like the gaming community has their own culture on things. You know, not everybody knows who Leroy Jenkins is.
I don't know who Leroy Jenkins is.
See, exactly. You need YouTube. Put hyperlink for Leroy Jenkins right now, please.
Okay. I'm gonna have to look up Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah. That's kind of one of those things. Right?
Who is he?
It's there's this whole so Leroy Jenkins, I forget what game it was, but it kind of goes on this kamikaze mission. They were trying to make this whole plan on how to defeat an enemy, and Leroy Jenkins, let's just screw this, and he runs into the door and yells, Leroy Jenkins, whatever though. He does a lot better. I can't think of it right now because I've been drinking. But watch it on the YouTube video, and you see him. Yeah, he just yells Leroy Jenkins, and he runs in and totally ruins their whole plan. And now the whole group of people that he's with has to go in and kind of save him and rescue him. So
So this
I'm
is
horrible
like
at explaining it, but
it's a video game.
It's a video game,
okay.
but there's a whole lot of people that follow this thing. So
what is like Call of Duty type of video game?
Like it wasn't Call of Duty. It's more.
Is it one of the military ones, or just like a what's I don't play video games.
Like Dungeons and Dragons. I'm just saying.
I don't play video games, but I hear some names. Like was it
Shall I Google this?
Fallout? I've heard of something like called Fallout. I've heard of something called Destiny. I've heard of something called Call of Duty. What else? Some other ones. I don't know.
This thing's got 124 or 12 million views.
Okay, guys, these eggs are getting.
Let me just get to the one.
Repeat percentage of survival. It's a lot better than we usually do. She's sticking fleet.
Alright, here.
Better than we usually do. Alright, jump up, ready, guys. Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins.
And he takes off.
So they're trying to be all technical about it. Yeah. Like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. Go this way. Yeah. They're coming up with a plan, and it's just screw your plan. Everybody I'm just gonna go in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so like the military kind of has that same culture.
Okay.
Just it's weird unless you're into it and you follow it, you're not gonna know. So. Yeah, just like the other day, earlier today, I saw a picture of private somebody, whatever it was just a cartoon character, faking an injury so he could have a profile. And you're like, that was a profile, right? So faking an injury so he could have a profile is going to the med hall or to the doc. Get a profile saying, oh yeah, he's got a twisted ankle, or his ankle's not right, or his foot's not right, or his knee's not right, something, some kind of injury, so he doesn't have to do PT.
Okay, so now we're talking about real life.
No, yeah.
Or is it this isn't some video game where you go to?
No, we're back to the real life. We're back to real life where we're in like the Army has a culture of like if you call somebody like, oh yeah, that guy was a sick hall ranger.
Oh, okay.
A sick hall ranger is somebody who always went to sick hall to get out of doing PT or doing their task or doing whatever the hell they're
actually training.
Yeah. And so, obviously if you weren't in the Army or whatever, you wouldn't understand that. So
I get it. I get it. I know what sick call ranger is now. All right, guys. I'm part of the culture now. All right. It's interesting. Yeah. But I need to learn basically how to disconnect, how to relax. I don't know how to do that. Especially like just thinking about like some of the stuff you've seen and some of the stuff you do. I was like, I don't think I would be able to disconnect. I was like, you need to answer a call. Bill. Yeah. I see. We got like 10 minutes before we wrap up. We're going to wrap up soon. We're going to wrap up soon, Bill. All right.
I'll let it go to voicemail.
Yeah. I got a clock. I'm watching the clock, Bill. I see it right now. Like I know what time it is. I saw you were checking your watch a couple times.
No, that's because it's actually a smartwatch, and so all my text messages and emails come through my watch.
Fancy.
And so I'm like, is that important? Do I need to answer it? And so if it's not important, I just go right back over.
Okay. Let's see, Bill's coming up with excuses right now. It's actually not a smartwatch. It's just like a regular watch.
Look, you can see who just
nobody sees that. Call. That's not even on camera. I'm gonna blur that out.
It looks very fast, like a normal watch, but it's actually a smartwatch. It's a Garmin, by the way.
Oh, wow.
So if you go to, it gets my heart rate and everything. It's actually really good. Speaking of heart rates, I actually wanted to put this on some of my new guys at work just to see how they would react to certain calls or certain things whenever I give them tasks.
What? Like a smartwatch?
No, the heart rate monitor.
Yeah, I would want a heart rate monitor.
Yeah. Because I noticed like on certain calls or certain jobs that we're doing or we're assigned to do, I'll go back and I'll look at my heart rate afterwards.
Yeah.
Because it gives me a full graph of everything. I'm like, okay, at this time, this is what happened. Or my heart rate skyrocketed 30 beats per minute.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's whenever we almost flipped over the truck and I almost died and I hated the driver. And I was like, you see this? Yeah, I was seriously scared at this moment.
Yeah.
And then go back and 10 minutes later, now we're on the ground and we're walking up to the target and we're doing whatever we're doing. And but bam, my heart rate goes up again, and then it immediately comes back down. That's because, well, hey, that's that part of excitement where, we just crashed all the windows and doors, And so it's like, so yeah, it's actually pretty accurate on what happened. So.
Okay, is it accurate though? Like the reading?
I don't know. I think
how can you I know there's technology in it where I think it senses.
Yeah, because like if you think about it, like you can see my vein coming across right here. And it's probably picking up on that. Okay. And yeah, I don't know how absolutely accurate it is. I always thought my heart rate was a little bit lower than whatever it's telling me my heart rate is.
Yeah.
But I think it works out just fine. Accurate enough.
Accurate enough. Yeah, because I know there's also chest straps too, and I think those, from what I hear, are more accurate than the actual the smartwatches.
Probably.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, disconnected from everything. I mean, that's kind of part of it. Is like I could see my disconnect or how fast I'm able to recover from a moment of excitement.
Okay.
And so like it'll give me, a minute or so. It breaks it up to like minutes. And so 1 minute I'm at 120, 130, and the next minute I'm back down to 60 or 70. Okay. And so being able to do that, it's something I guess I've just learned through time, or like, okay, cool, everything's normal and calm now.
Okay. Yeah. So you basically you kind of like. You look at it, like you review it, and then you're able to like kind of like move on from that.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So where others, it's like, well, was I really excited? How long was I excited for that? Like, did that really bother me? Did it bother me? And like, I could go back and like, oh no, I guess it really didn't bother me.
Yeah.
So, besides that part of just replaying it back in my head, but.
Okay. Do you ever have you ever seen stuff that gets stuck in your head though that you can't like unremember?
I mean, no, I'll remember a lot of things. I think that's one of the best things about me is like I have a pretty good memory of things.
Yeah.
Like some of the guys at work joke like, yeah, he knows my serial number, my social security number, but I don't even remember my social security number, And it's like, because they'll ask me like, hey Billy, what's my license plate? I'm like, I'll tell them.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is because we have to do our paperwork. Like, or what's my equipment number? But I'll remember things. I don't think too many things bother me in that, if that's what you're trying to say. Is like,
like you ever see like an image that.
No, I mean like dead bodies and stuff or whatever. People's heads blown off, whatever, burned up, explosions, yada yada yada. Now I do think like dead bodies scare me. Like I don't like being in the same room as them.
Okay.
Because I think of like zombies and stuff.
Yes, Bill. So, zombies are gonna come.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So like the last dead body that we encountered, which was down the street. Or not really down the street, but down the highway.
A couple blocks.
Yeah, just a couple blocks away.
A couple exits away.
Yeah. I didn't go in that room with him, or where he was, but one of the other guys went in there and he's like, one of the other guys was making fun of him. He's like, he's like, what? He's moving. What? Like, but it was just like that nerve, that muscular reflex or whatever. I don't know how doctors explain it, but he was dead already. He had shot himself in the head, and so I guess there was just like a little bit of twitching, and he was freaking out. Like, what the hell? But to me, I would have been like, zombie! I'm kidding. But yeah, I would have been like, zombie, and I would have ran out the room. Yeah. But that's the thing. Is like one of my buddies asked me, he's like, hey, you don't like being in rooms with or one of my coworkers, you don't like being in a room with dead people? No, man, I think they're gonna come back to life. I don't know what the hell's gonna happen. But jokingly, I say, yeah, they're zombies. So.
Yeah. And I just wanted to let everybody know my zombie plan. I have a zombie plan, okay? In case whenever the zombie apocalypse occurs, my plan is just get to your house.
You get to my house. My house ain't got bullets. You know where I'm going to be. I ain't going to be there. I'll be at the office. So
hey, because I already know your house is like an armory.
yeah.
I know that, so I was like, oh, he has plenty of stuff. He could. I was like, that's a safe place to go.
Yeah.
I know we could get by. We could survive
Right.
at your house.
Except I don't have food there, so that's my thing. I don't. Like being a new homeowner, I haven't figured out like how often to buy food yet, or when to go do. Like I'll buy stuff and it'll sit there, and I'll end up trashing it.
Yeah,
it's bad. Like I can't milk, eggs, bread, even things that are in the pantry. I'm just like, holy crap! Like I can't eat it fast enough. That's just me being by myself there. So it's kind of Don't go to my house. There's nothing there. There's nothing there to eat. There's bullets. There's nothing there to eat.
Check my fridge. It's like empty, but I kind of do that on purpose. Like I've got it to a point where I know like how much I eat, and then so basically I kind of just go to a grocery store like once a week, and then so I do it so like okay, I buy enough food for the week, and then that's it. But that's all I keep because I don't like throwing away food.
Yeah.
Like I don't like throwing away food at all.
Feeling,
I was like I don't want it just to sit there and go to waste. So I just buy enough for the week, and then I know I'm gonna eat it. And then sorry, once the food runs out, I was like, okay, it's time to go to the grocery store, buy some more food, and stuff like that. You'll learn that though. Yeah, I think it just comes with time. It just comes with time being a homeowner, and then just being on yourself, figuring it all out. Yeah, you'll get used to it. But yeah, it's just something that you'll learn. But you'll get there, and I'm sure once the zombie apocalypse happens, you'll have figured it out by then.
Exactly.
And then we'll all be okay. And then so I'm going to your house.
Yeah.
And
then we'll go break into army base and get all the MREs.
Yeah, we could do that. I've always wanted to have one.
Yeah.
I was tempted. I've never had one. I've always wanted to have one. I was tempted to buy one actually. Like I saw some at the armory surplus.
Don't ever get the cheese omelet. That's the most horrible thing ever.
Cheese omelet? All right. I know.
Horrible.
I'll not get the cheese omelet. All right.
Yeah.
But
on that note.
Yeah, on that note, do not get the cheese omelet, MRE, which is what's a meal
ready to eat.
Meal ready to eat. There it goes. I knew that. Yeah. I was just testing Billy to make sure he knew that.
Right.
But yeah. All right, don't get the cheese omelet, MRE.
Yep.
And on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap up episode 1 of the Defynest Podcast. That's Defynest. I know this first video, I'll probably put it up on YouTube probably tomorrow. I don't think it's going to take me that long. The audio versions will be up on like Spotify, iTunes, all the other podcasts, Google Podcasts, all the other stuff. But that's going to take some time.
What's the tag? Or is there like a tag or kind of a thing? I don't know. What's your username on all those?
Well, just
I don't know how this works.
Just search Defynest on all your podcast thingies or Google it. Which I got to get the website. I got to build a website for it. That's something I got to do.
Why not just use your original?
That's my personal one. This is going to be different. All right. This is just for the well, I say it's not just for the podcast. But that's I got some other stuff in store. Okay. But that's later. That's the cliffhanger. All right. There's other stuff in store too. But yeah, so I'll get that. It's just gonna be on iTunes. Just search Defynest, Spotify. That's gonna take a little while because on those things I have to get approved first. I gotta send them the podcast, have them approve it, and then it'll go on. So that's gonna take maybe like a week or two. But you can find this on youtube.com/ I don't know, Defynest, Defynest, or else just search Defynest Podcast on your YouTube or Google browser, YouTube browser. It'll show up. Other than that, you got anything you want to plug?
Thanks for having me, buddy.
All right.
That's it.
Thank you. I want to thank you for being my first guest. I think this is going to be my hardest.
You suck, Giddy.
Yeah, Giddy, you're horrible. You suck at life. You're a flake. You're a sellout.
It's all good.
Yeah, but I'd love to have you on. Please come on.
Number 2.
Please be my second guest. All right, Giddy?
And then continue the zombie talk.
Yes. Hey, he already told me that if the zombie apocalypse happens, and he gets bit, that I could kill him. He gave me permission to kill him.
Oh, that's awesome.
If he turns, I could kill him. So
what a good friend.
Yeah. So you got nothing to plug, nothing like Instagram you want people to follow you at or anything like that?
No, all my stuff's private right now.
All right,
I haven't made it into that.
Billy's private. You can search my Defynest Podcast. If you want to look into some of my background, you could just go to my website. It's michaelmacedo.com. That's MichaelMacedo.com. All right, I'll link it in the description probably, and I'll link all the stuff to the podcast, the YouTube, the website in the description on YouTube. I prefer people see this on YouTube, but if you want to check the audio versions out, just go ahead. But you know what? Thank you for being my first guest.
Anytime,
Thanks for having me. Bill, you're one of my favorite people in the world. I love you. You're amazing. I respect you. And yeah, all right, I get this. That's it. And right now.